One day you will know, east and the west of my master. I can't get imposed. Even now you remember, so I'm packing on my shoes. I'm going back home. A young girl like me shouldn't be going down to school. He told me he was a banker, don't know him from closer. This man is a gangster, who come down to boxer. Now he's everything, every night and day. He's wondering, I really wanna know, Mama Shake, Mama Show, Mama Shake, Mama Show, Mama Shake, Mama Show. Now he's every night and day, Mama Shake. He's wondering, really wanna know, Mama Shake, Mama Show, Mama Shake, Mama Show, Mama Show. Hello and welcome to another show, Kiki's Chat Show. This is so exciting because I do have a guest on this show, but we'll come to that later. Today, what I was playing was Mamisha. This is a song by the young girl Ebony who died a few months ago, and her song is about domestic violence. And in the song, it says he told her he was a banker. He said he was a nice man. He told her he loved her and all of that. And now look, mother, he's beating me. He's constantly beating me like a boxer. So there you go. Now, first thing I want to tell you, though, is the weather is brilliant. The weather in London is warm and beautiful. And we've had a glorious weekend. And even though it's steadily getting warmer, it is still warm by any means. It's getting a little bit cooler, but it is still warm by any means. It's beautiful. Now, the topic today is domestic violence. And I've got this lady here who's going to talk about it. And domestic violence is a big, big topic because it's got different challenges. What I mean is it's got different areas, different hands, it's in different ways. It affects people differently, but the bottom line is it wrecks everybody's life. It wrecks the victim's life. Now, all human beings at heart are beings of love and intelligence who seek to grow. So if you are stunting somebody's development, somebody's love, somebody's growth, you are stopping somebody from becoming creative. You are wrecking their intelligence. You're making them second check themselves. What is that? Now, whenever I say what is that, some people say I say what is that all the time on the radio and even on the television. Yes. What is that? When I say what is that, it means why are we going through this? Why are we still talking about this? If we're talking about it, it means it's still happening and it must be dealt with. Now, domestic violence is international. It is not just a group of people who suffer it. It is not just poor people who suffer it. It is across the board, across the spectrum. Educated people suffer it. Teachers suffer it. I was reading something today about teachers who suffer serious domestic violence, and when they go to work, one of the ways to find out if a person is suffering domestic violence is if they're late constantly to work, or when everyone's laughing and talking, they don't join in. They are always not at work, and they constantly fell through the door, slipped and fell, the door hits them. They have, accidents. They're always having accidents. And with some people, they're weepy or jittery. If something falls, they jump. If, and that kind of behavior is not conducive to work. So if continually the person is having problems and you just don't get to the bottom of it, and continually there are issues. They're suffering something. Something is going on. Domestic violence takes many forms. It can be physical, psychological, it's economic, sexual, emotional, and it can be a combination of all of it. So it can, you know, I mean, if you're unlucky to have all of it, some people, something triggers it, so it's physical, but you know, it can be in different ways. And all of it are forms of violence and controlling behavior, physical, sexual abuse, rape, threats, and intimidation. So continually you're being told that you're not good enough, and continually you're doing something bad, and continually you're being blamed for things that you don't even understand. Your money is being withheld from you. You know, unreasonable criticism. I've gone through that. I've had the money, the unreasonable critique, belittling. And you see, if you're a happy person and you know people and that, they can use that against you and say that you're a bad girl, you're this and you're that, and then you know you start second guessing yourself, and you're not sure what's going on. That is domestic violence. Now, with all of that, we have to be careful that, you know, if you have a falling out with your partner, it doesn't mean it's domestic violence. Violence is consistent, and it's something that does bad things to you. Today on my show, you know, I have this lady who has been my friend for years. We've been together for years and years and years, and we share a lot of similar stories, and then some of hers are even bigger than mine. And because I respect her so much, she doesn't want to be shown, you know, she doesn't want to be seen. And I respect that, you know. But she is going to tell us. I mean, this lady was brought up in a strict home, and she was young and impressionable. And she's going to tell us how she met her husband and how things descended into what we're going to talk about today. Good evening.
Good evening.
Just a sec. Let me put up all of the microphones because I don't know which one's going to work. Hello.
Hello.
Excellent. I can hear you now.
Good.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Very happy to be on your show.
I am very grateful that you offered to come on my show. I was even shaking. I'm like, oh my God, is she gonna really come? Does she really want to come? You know, because some people have experienced it and they're constantly telling me things to say on radio, but they don't want to come themselves, and they want me to come and sit here and for a whole hour just blab on about their issues, and I find that a little bit difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
However, I'm very happy that today, even though you did not suggest it to me, somebody else did, you have offered to come and talk about domestic violence. Do you want, what name should we give you? Because you're incognito today, are you not?
I am.
So what name do you want? Do you want me to call you Shazam? What name should we give you? So that I can say, oh, and Shazam this, or and Shazam that.
Whatever you feel comfortable.
No, you just tell me something and let me say it.
Anything.
What name do you like that wasn't given to you? What name would you have loved to be called?
Actually, I love my own name very much.
Do you know the name I wanted? Suzette.
Suzette. We'll
I like Suzette. This is me. I wanted to be called Suzette, so I wanted to add Suzette to my names, like Candy Christine Suzette. Yeah.
You can call me Suzette.
Okay. I can start. Let me just start with a kind of a background of you. And the background is that this is somebody who is from your background, you're from an African country.
I am.
And very proudly so. You keep reminding me, I am an African too.
Yeah.
And she, she comes from the background where at a young age, you are affianced to somebody and you get married. And you live a good life, basically, and everyone's proud of you because you're a girl and you kept yourself to yourself and you married. So what is the story? Let's start by, so how did you meet your gentleman husband?
Actually, we were attending a wedding.
Yes.
And we glanced at each other, but not like, oh, I'm really attracted to him.
Your eyes met.
Yeah, but that's about it.
No, not deeply. Okay.
Yeah. But I think he was attracted to me. I was very naive, very young, very naive. Right. I was brought up in a very close family with an older brother and an older sister.
You were the baby.
I was a baby. Yeah. We were kept very, like, we were never, like, I'd say that I was provided everything.
Yes.
But with my parents, everywhere I wanted to go, they went with me. Anything I wanted, I got. So I was a spoiled brat.
You were.
Yeah.
Even when I met you, you were a little bit.
And he actually came to my college, right, to see me. I can't say I was in love with him because I only knew him a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
You met him and in a week you were kind of like.
No, he was liking me, but I thought as being a Hindu based, right, maybe my parents might like him.
Okay.
Yeah. But he then said his mother wants to see me.
He wanted to introduce you to his mother. Okay.
I wasn't allowed out. I was only 17 at that time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed out. So he sent his sister over to say that can she come to her house and see the wedding dresses and things like that. And apparently that day, all of a sudden my mom said yes.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Your mom said yes,
to,
you can go and
to her house and see the wedding dresses, no problem, but come on time back home. And I promised her I will.
Oh, so the sister was going to get married and she invited you, she came.
Yeah.
Instead of your gentleman, and said that she was inviting you to her house to come and look at her wedding dresses.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So we went there. And I saw the mother sweeping with a dustpan and a brush. And being blunt as I am, right, I told her, where's the Hoover? Why aren't you using the Hoover? And she realized that, hold on, she's a girl of her own mind. She'll speak out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened between the son and the mother because I was upstairs with his sister. He apparently, she must have said something. And by 3 o'clock, I said, I want to go home. By 4 o'clock, I have to reach home. Right. So 4 o'clock came and he said, okay, bye-bye. I said, bye-bye to everyone. He said, I'll drop you. Right. On the way, he said, will you marry me?
Just like that?
Just like that.
You mean you hadn't had, you weren't courting or anything? You
Not
just met him at the wedding?
Yes.
And within a week, you'd made friends with his sister.
Yeah.
And then you went to, and then on his way to drop you, he asked you to marry him.
Yes.
Gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Reason being, I don't know, but I was panicking, a bit frightened because I didn't know him. scared of because actually he took me a very long way to go to East London, and it looked like a countryside which I'd never been to. So I'm much older. I know where I am right now.
Yeah.
But that time I was very, very innocent and didn't know what to do. I was shaking because I come from a strict family. So I didn't want to be later than 4 o'clock. And Mum's first time allowed me to go out. Yeah. And he's saying, well, I said, go and ask my parents. There is no difference. You're a Hindu, I'm a Hindu, you're Brahmin, I'm Brahmin. Yeah. There's a caste system in Hinduism as well. So he goes, they won't say yes. I said, why not? Yeah. If you ask my parents, it will be better, right? Because I have no intention of this right now. I still want to study. No, he didn't understand. Now this day I was really panicking. I was scared, my heart was beating, right? I had severe migraines at that age, severe. When I panic,
your headache starts. Yeah.
Right? And he didn't take me home.
Where did he take you?
He took me all the way to Scotland.
What?
Yes.
Do I know this bit?
You do. Candy, long time ago, we have been speaking about this.
Okay. Oh my God. Anyway, so you went to Scotland, and what? You went and married you there in Gretna Green?
He tried to, because there was no intention of me running away.
Yeah.
With him. I didn't have any spare clothes. I didn't have a passport. I didn't have nothing with me.
Gosh.
Right. So he couldn't get married to me there, because in Scotland you can get married at the age of 16.
Yeah.
I was 17, nearly coming up to 18, a week before my 18th birthday.
Okay.
My parents also reported me missing to the police.
What? Had 24 hours? Oh, your 4 o'clock had passed. Yes.
Yeah, reported that I'm missing. My dad was looking, my brother was looking at the seasides, everywhere. There was all panic. But this guy kept me away from my parents. Right. Till I turned 18.
For the 1 week?
Yes.
Okay.
My father also went to them and said, you prison me in your house and give me my daughter back. They wouldn't do it. And I'm telling you this, that this is part of my life, which I've gone through and come out.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
So basically you were in prison. Even in the beginning, you didn't know him. You were 17 going on 18. You didn't know him that well, but he had captured you, and he knew that you were naive. You didn't know him. You didn't know many things. And so he was taking advantage, basically. Okay. So he took you. Did he take you back home?
No. Eventually, the police came to his house and said, we want to see her. Has she come with her own will? We went to the police station.
You and him?
Yes. And he stepped on my foot to make sure I say, yes, I went with my own will.
So you told the police you went with your own will?
Yes.
But, okay.
By him stepping on my foot to say, you say what I said. Right. And I think as Africans, we are all very protective about our daughters. And once you've been sleeping, or raped or whatever, right, we're taught to marry them.
Yes.
Yeah. So at the end, I did marry him. I mean, we got married as a registered, not as in the marriage.
You didn't have the elephants and the thing on your forehead?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, my parents didn't even come because they knew he had a skin condition. You know,
Because he was very white.
yes.
I remember him
Yes.
being very white.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he had a skin condition which no parents would give their daughter to.
No good Indian parents.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We got married. We were living big family
Mhm.
in his house. Right.
Mhm.
He was the eldest son,
Mhm.
so I had a lot of responsibilities
Mhm.
on his head.
Mhm.
They were not very well off
Mhm.
by the time I was married to him. I was 18.
Mhm.
Yeah, so in 2 weeks I got married.
Mhm.
Right. So the first time he noticed that I'm spoiled is at night. I had never used to go to sleep without a Coke.
You would drink
Coca-Cola, right? Not cocaine, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Yeah.
And that was my drink to go to sleep
That
in.
was your fix.
Yeah. And when we went to his house, and I said, I want a Coke.
Mhm.
You haven't got any. I said, I can't go to sleep then. I need a Coke. Because I was still a child at that time.
Mhm.
You're thinking, okay, maybe this is what it's going to be. It was about 12 o'clock at night, exactly, I remember.
Mhm.
He said, we haven't got Coke. I said, why haven't you got Coke? My house has Coke. Why haven't you got Coke?
Mhm.
Right? No, we don't. We can't afford it. What do you mean you can't afford it? Yeah. He literally came from a very, very poor family.
Okay.
Right? And that time, I didn't understand because my parents have given me everything I wanted. I wasn't spoiled like giving diamonds or things like that, but little things I was happy with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well looked after. Yeah. Um, I was given clothes of his sister
To wear. Okay.
right? Because I didn't have any. I think I'm going to cut the short story and say within 6 months of my marriage, people knew that I had been brought up in this country.
Mhm.
I had my own mind, and I will speak up.
Mhm.
Yeah. If I see something wrong, I'm going to say this is wrong. Yeah.
You can't say that in an Asian family where they go about, there's a hierarchy, there's a grandma, grandpa,
Yeah.
there's daddy, there's, blah, blah, blah. And then you go and you're running your mouth off.
Yeah. So the mother didn't like it.
Mhm.
Yeah. She literally thought that, okay, yeah, this girl will actually say things what she doesn't like. Yeah. And if I think it's wrong, I'm going to say it. So I think she got her son she was scared to lose her son
Mhm.
to me.
Mhm.
So she kept him to himself and manipulated him.
Mhm.
Right? After 6 months of my marriage, I was first beaten up, black and blue, while I was pregnant with my older son. Right? I had £5 to last me a week of shopping and feed a dog.
To feed the whole house and the dog?
No.
No, just you.
Just me and the dog, because they had opened a business. So the family moved there till they sold the house. Somebody needed to live there.
So they left you in the house when you were pregnant?
Yes. So, but he was there. My husband was there. But he'd go to the restaurant early in the morning, come back at about 2-3 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's around that time that I met you. Well, then when they had the restaurant, isn't it? Is it when they had the Anand?
No, no. Restaurant closed.
Yeah.
After I left.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have a slave to work for.
Oh, because you used to go there and work, and sometimes your shoes were tatty and
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Several times I went back to my parents, but parents being parents, because I had children, would say, look, everything be fine, go back, go back. I went back, same situation, same battering, same putting you down. Yeah, I had no money. I wasn't allowed any money for myself.
Mm-hmm.
No personal things I could buy for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, ladies, if you're listening, if anyone's listening out there, this is another type of domestic violence where it's violence just to not even, you want to control the person, you want to not give them money, you don't want them to work either. So unless there's a family business and then they go and work in the family, you don't give them money so that they have no financial independence to make any decision where money is involved. Yes, Suzette.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Move
I
closer to the microphone.
I went to my parents after being beaten up,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'd send me back, go back for the children, go back for the children.
Mm-hmm. Because of the children.
Because of the children.
Yeah.
And it will work out.
Mm-hmm.
It never did. It came to a last stage where I took an overdose to kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me to a mental hospital.
Yes, he sectioned you.
Yes.
Yes.
And I realized it was a mental hospital the next day because they were following me everywhere I went. Yeah. I said, this is not a normal hospital.
I don't understand. So the nurses and everyone was following you.
Yes.
If you went to the loo, they'd follow you.
They'd follow
It's because you tried to commit suicide, you
Yes.
see. And so they needed you not to do that again. And if you were on your own, you may attempt to do that.
Yes.
And that's why oh my God, yes.
So when they followed me,
Mm-hmm.
I realized, hold on, there's something wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I want to see the consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, why? I said, look, I'm not mad. I am going through a bad patch of my life. I have a husband who's beating me up,
Mm-hmm.
who's trying to take my children away. I'm not mad. I'm asking for help.
I remember once he threw you out before you committed the suicide.
Yes.
Tried to commit suicide. Yeah. He threw you out. It was in winter.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I remember. And I was beaten up black and blue.
Yeah.
And blood running around my nose and everything.
Yeah.
I tried to stop an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
First they drove past and then they realized. They turned back and came for me.
Yeah.
Now, that was the hardest time of my life.
Mm.
And when this mental hospital came in,
mm-hmm.
and then next time he tried to hit me, and I decided then, no, I gotta go. I really have to leave, otherwise he's gonna kill me, and I'm not gonna be able to look after my children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I rang the police up,
mm-hmm.
and they came. They picked me up, right? Because I was very well known to the police about the abuses I've had.
Because you kept going there.
Yeah, for help.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that, okay, we'll provide you a hotel for tonight. So they provided me a hotel that night. And they said, now what do you want to do? I didn't want it to go back to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time I'd hurt them, and now, like my brother was married, and my sister-in-law was living there. She has children. I didn't want to take my kids there as well,
mm-hmm.
to be a burden on her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I decided to go to an Asian women's refuge.
Mm-hmm.
I took my younger son with me,
mm-hmm.
and the older son lived with my ex-husband.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we, in 7 months within the refuge, I got a house opposite you.
Yes.
Yeah. And within weeks, we became very good friends.
Yes.
That time, you were a great support to me.
Really?
Yes. Because I had a 4-year-old child, right? And we couldn't go shopping, right? I didn't have a car. Every weekend, you would support me and take me shopping.
You were my friend.
Yes.
You want to make me cry. Oh, God.
Yeah. But that meant a lot to me. That support, that love made me feel I was wanted.
Really?
Yes.
You had your parents, though. They kept coming.
Parents
your
came,
mother was
but
there all the time.
parents are your parents. They're never going to look at your good side, or they're going to tell you, they're going to love you whether. Yeah, but I didn't know I could be loved by somebody else. Oh.
Well, this is a difficult.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to talk, otherwise the radio will go off. People, we should come back. I'm going to play some music, and then we're going to wipe our tears, and then we shall continue. We have more to tell you. It's been a little bit. This is a bit tough. This whole discussion is tough, and yeah, I'm gonna come back. But yeah, we became friends, and we kind of hit it off, didn't we?
We did. We did.
Okay, music whilst I wipe my tears.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Candy.
No, it's okay. Oh. Anyway, come on. You went through hell, you know? Looking back on it.
Yes. Looking back on it, I wouldn't be the woman I am right now. Right? And even him himself has said to me now.
You have to say this on air.
Yeah.
Let me go back.
Why are you going back?
We're back. We had a bit of water. We've wiped our tears, and now we're back because we're on memory lane, and this is tough. I'm going to try and control I'm such a weakling, aren't I?
You are. And I've known you as a strong woman.
I am. But this is you, my friend, But this is it. It's better this way because now we're talking about something that is very important. And it was hard. It was hard in those days, but we were just getting on with it, so to say.
We were.
You are a strong woman, though, I have to say. You are because we just got on with it, and weekends we went shopping. I would go to work, come back. We would take the kids to park. We would do
things with them, and
it was good.
And you enjoyed my curries.
I would eat your food, and my children loved your pancakes.
Yeah.
And yes. And because you were vegetarian, I had to buy a special set of pots so that we would eat the vegetarian food.
Yeah. And although this, Candy, I've never told you.
Yeah.
But my mom really respected you for that.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Because mom is a very religious person. She comes from because being Brahmins are like, they can do the prayers, right? They can do the prayers for the death, weddings, everything. And they can run a temple. My mother was brought up in a temple.
Okay.
Yeah, because her father was a priest.
She used to make this bindi thing for me.
Yeah. And I think she saw how much you had supported me. Because being a vegetarian, no, we do not eat in the same plate as me.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Right.
So we had different sets.
Yeah, different sets for me and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she appreciated that.
No. You were my friend though. So we had to do that.
Yeah. But I've never felt sorry for myself. I had to get on.
Good.
I had a 4-year-old child who I had to bring up. I had to work as many.
You had the 4-year. You had 2 kids though.
I had 2 children.
But he took one.
He took my older one, who was 10 at that time, and my younger one was 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went through High Court to fight for my older son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
But he had a lot of money.
Yes.
And a lot of power.
By then, he owned shops.
Yes.
He owned shops, not even in East London, not just East London. He owned some even in the south of London. He had a Merc, a this, and I remember he would come in his clothes, fine clothes. His sister, and his sisters will come and visit you. And
not visit me.
Yeah, they were coming to visit the
children.
The children.
Pick the younger one up to take to the older one to meet each other. Yeah. And then one weekend the older one came, remember?
Yeah. He would come.
And that was the only bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would get down from the car and stand outside. He wouldn't go in. I remember all that.
Yeah. Yeah. But as you know, right, I became a childminder.
Yes.
Yeah. And brought slowly my son up.
Yes.
Right.
He went to university, finished. Yes. He's got his own business.
Yes.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud.
Finally got him married as well.
He got married last year.
Yeah.
Yes, we went shopping for the clothes.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh God, yes. We've gone through things.
I couldn't feel sorry for myself. I could not let my children see me break down.
Yes.
Yeah. I had to be a strength for them.
Yes.
And I think my children were the strength of me.
Yes.
Yeah. Even when my mother passed away, I have never grieved for my mother. Yeah, because they were young. I couldn't grieve. I couldn't let them see me break down.
Yeah.
I had to carry on. And till this day, now my ex-husband says to me, he's proud of me. He never expected of how much ability I have.
Well, a woman is like coffee.
Yes.
If you drop her in hot water, it's when you see her strength.
Yes.
Or a woman is like tea, or a woman is like an egg.
Yes. And I've had a lot of women come up to me.
But you used to help the women in the shelter, didn't you?
Yes. Budgeting, I didn't know. I didn't know how to pay bills. Right? I had very little money.
I remember.
Right? To either pay the bills or buy food. Yeah. It was a big struggle. It was struggle between both of us.
Yes.
Right? But without friends like you, I don't think I could have made it. Because being an Asian woman and divorced.
I remember we used to go shopping.
Yeah.
And people would look at us like, and the Asian people would say things to you like, what are you doing with her? Or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I'm still in African blood.
I see.
Yeah. So I think our Hindu community did not like me being divorced.
Yes. Yes. We went through all that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody would talk to me. Nobody would make me as a friend.
Yes.
Because they thought I might spoil their children.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it didn't bother me.
No.
It didn't bother me because I had stronger friends who supported me.
Yes.
Yeah. And saw the other side of me. Not as a weakling, not as someone who's getting beaten up,
Mhm.
right? But a person who has her own mind,
Mhm.
her own strength,
Mhm.
and are willing to say that I'll give the best to my children.
Which you did.
Yeah. I hope I have.
You have, and you have actually, you were a childminder, and then you finished that, and then you decided that you were going to do courses and foster children.
I am a foster carer
And
now.
you're a foster carer, and you live in a nice house, and your foster children, even though they're older and go away, they still keep coming back.
Yes.
And, one of them, I keep. Yeah.
One of them, do you think she doesn't like you?
Yeah, I said he didn't like me. All the foster kids like me apart from this one little boy who every time I went to the door, he wouldn't open the door because I was black.
Yeah.
And she said, "Hey, that is my sister. Open the door. She's black, but she's my sister."
Yeah. We're family.
Yes, I remember. Oh God, we've gone through things, and one of the things that I am happy that you're saying these things is because you came through. You have changed your life regardless of. I like using the word notwithstanding, regardless of all of the things that you went through.
Yes.
You are a different person. You're still a lovely, loving, spoiled chick.
I spoil myself now.
Yes, but you are still kind and funny, and you haven't lost any of your happiness and outspokenness and your creativity. And I mean, she's taught me a lot of things. This lady sitting here who doesn't want anyone to see her, she's such a beautiful lady with long hair. And I remember one day, this is very funny. This friend of mine who has gone through all of these things that we're talking about, she has very, very long Asian hair. And one day you borrowed my Hoover.
Yes.
And then hoovered all this hair, and it went into the thing, and we thought it was broken.
Yes.
And you kept saying, "My God, I've broken. I don't even have one, and I can't afford one, and I've broken yours." So you were sitting there on the floor crying, and I'm like, "It's okay." And then somebody came and repaired it.
Yes,
Do you remember?
yes,
I think it's one of my brothers or something just came in and said it was just hair and took it out. But yeah.
And I think it is very frightening for a woman, right, when they go through this.
Yeah.
That if they get help,
mm-hmm.
I'm telling women, yes, they will get help.
Mm-hmm.
They will be listened to
mm-hmm. if they
ask for it. And I know it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken me 13 years of my marriage to walk out.
It took you 13 years.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And in silence, you suffer. And I had a time limit to go to the children's school, drop them.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, my husband would be right behind me. I wasn't allowed to use phones to call my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't allowed anything. They took my child benefit books. Everything was gone. Yeah. But I only survived for my kids.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
And I'm very proud to say that both my sons, they're strong.
Yes. They've gone through, but they're strong.
Yeah,
they're so loving.
Yeah.
And oh, my precious, precious Suraj, he's such a beautiful boy.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Well, people, we've got how many minutes? 5 minutes to go. And, an hour has just rolled by. I didn't even ask you all the questions I was going to ask you because we cried in the middle. And then
I would request anyone who's going through this, please seek help.
Seek help. Seek help.
There is help. There's Asian Women's Refuge.
Yes.
There's all sorts of refuges now.
Yeah.
Which will help people and get you through this. They'll help you court cases. They'll help you in every way, but it's your decision and your move.
Yes.
Nobody can decide that.
Yes, nobody can decide for you. You have to decide for yourself, and you have to help yourself. one of your friends was killed by her husband. I remember that.
That's true.
Yeah.
And how many times she came to my house with black eyes, right? Bruises everywhere. I begged her, please go to a refuge. He's going to kill you. No. And one day, I heard her son come to the door and say, I saw my mummy lying on the floor. Can you please come and help me? I rang the police up and went straight there. I saw her lying on the floor, so the police said, break the door and go in. I saw her dead body on the floor. And this man who killed her in front of a 2-year-old girl, who then grew up strangling dolls.
Did she?
Yes. But that's what she saw at a 2-year of age. Don't put your children through this. Yeah, don't torture them. Because no matter what we do, they do see. And they too are hurt.
I have so many comments. Loads of people have commented, but I don't know what to do with this machine, so we'll just have to let it go. But people, we have 3 minutes to go, and the advice Suzette is giving you is, if you are in this sort of situation, do not feel shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because when we were talking, you said people feel ashamed sometimes because they feel that if this is happening to you, then you're weak and you're not, so they pretend. Or sometimes they are covering for the man.
Or they're scared.
Or they're scared. Don't do it. Just go, because she has seen her friend killed. She has seen all sorts of terrible things. There is nothing wrong with going to a refuge. It doesn't matter who you are. This happens to a lot of people, and everyone should be able to save themselves. If you're a woman and you have children, your responsibility is to your children and to yourself. What is the point of dying and then leaving those children to a stepmother who may not even like them, or a man who hasn't got time to look after them, or, etc., etc. You are responsible to yourself. We have to continue with the show. We will talk some more later at a later date. This has been a little bit tough because it's my friend and I love her very much. Just the whole bringing it back to me was very painful. But yes, thank you very much, all of the listeners. I'm sorry I can't answer any of the questions, but I will when I come off. The questions on Facebook, I mean, so many comments on Facebook. And I'm sorry that you can't see my friend, because she just doesn't want her face to be seen. She doesn't want you to feel sorry for her. She's a strong woman. She has done it. And she wants you, if you are in that situation, to do it for yourself. It is a tough life. It is a tough world out there. And the world is changing, but the world is only changing because we are embracing the issues and bringing it out, and we're talking about it. So here we are. I love you very much. I am so traumatized today, and so I'm going to be slightly unprofessional. I cannot even play music today. It's just too much for me. But I will be back next week with maybe a different topic, but we will have to come back because there's more. She did a lot of things, but because we had an hour, that's why. So we'll come back. We will come back. That was a tough one. Did you listen?
Are you that emotional that you don't want to play music?
I was so emotional. I am weepy even. I'm feeling weepy.
That's the word we live in.
Sorry, Moon. You have to listen to that.
It's a bit hard these days.
It is.
You can't really understand what is going on, but then,
Yeah. People, thank you so much for listening. I'm saying bye-bye now because my gentleman is behind and he wants to come.
Keep it locked.
Yep.
On GM.
Yep.
Facebook.
Stay
on the line.
Yeah, stay on the line. Bye-bye, people. Speak soon. Bye-bye. Yeah.